everyone, and welcome to Vlog Everyday in August, day 10. Today I thought that I would share with you 5 Instagram tips. Now before we start, I want to make a disclaimer and put out there that I don't have a huge Instagram following. I am by no means an influencer, but I do work in social media, and I've worked in social media for a while now. I've worked in advertising agencies focusing on social media, and I work now for a brand, for a company, and I work on social media again. So these are tips that I've picked up of things that I've observed worked for other people and worked for the majority from what I see, and just things that I've picked up from my own professional experience. Tip number 1 is the one that I would say is the most important, and it is be consistent. Now, be consistent, the obvious interpretation is schedule-wise, and obviously you want to be present, you want to put your content out there on the platform regularly and in a consistent way. So if you're posting every day, make sure you post every day. If you post a few times a week, make sure that you post typically the same days. The best way to figure this out is to test at first, different days, different times, and see what works, and then stick to that. You want to also think about time zones, where your audience is, where they're going to be. Is your audience, your target audience, people that are working a full-time job? And in that case, they probably won't check their Instagram outside of before work, during lunch hours, and then in the evening after work. So keep all those things in mind to help you figure out how to have a consistent schedule. But by consistent, I also mean visually. And this is valid whether you're working on building your personal brand and your own personal Instagram, or whether you're working for a brand or for your business. You want your brand in a way, and you should look at your personal Instagram as your personal brand if your goal is to gain followers and gain engagement and build a community there. So you have to see your Instagram feed kind of like as a magazine of your brand. So you want it to be visually consistent. You want to have a consistent color palette. You want to have a consistent voice, so you're not all over the place, and people know what to expect and kind of get to know you and know that they want to follow you because they like your personality or your business personality. So yeah, be consistent, not just on scheduling, but also on what it looks like. Tip number 2 is another one that is quite obvious, and it is use hashtags. This is the best way that you have to be in front of somebody that is not following you. So you want to use relevant hashtags that are relevant to your industry, to your interest, to your target audience. So don't think just about you and what you like if you're building a personal brand, for example. Think about what the people that you would like to, have follow you, think about what they like, and use hashtags that are relevant to their interests, because you want to make sure that you appeal to them. And Instagram allows for, I believe, 30 hashtags per post. Use them all if you can. And if not, use, a fair amount of them. If you can use 30, I would go for 30. It's not always easy, particularly when you're in a very niche market, for example, to find 30 relevant hashtags. The other advice that I would give is don't focus just on hashtags that have millions of posts, because you will be buried. For example, Throwback Thursday. Yes, it's a great one, and you should definitely use it because it's kind of a standard and people love that hashtag. However, the people that are going to see you through that hashtag are the people that are looking at that at the moment that you're posting. There are so many people that use it that your post will likely be buried unless it makes it to the top 9. So be mindful of that and try to incorporate hashtags that also have less posts in it. So like, for example, hashtags that have 30,000 or 50,000 posts, where there's going to be less clutter, and people who are going to look at the feed for that hashtag are going to be more likely to see your photo first. My last advice in regards to hashtags is to be very careful to not always use the same ones. Try to have like, what I do is that in my notes in my phone, I have like different sets of hashtags and I rotate them. The reason for that is because recently, over the past few months, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about it, Instagram has been doing what they call shadow banning. And that means that if you're using too often the same hashtags, or you're commenting kind of like the same thing all the time, and you're commenting too much in a short amount of time, they're gonna make it so your post doesn't come up on certain hashtags. People who follow you will still see your post, but people who are looking at those hashtags that you used, your post will not come up. So you want to avoid that, obviously, if you're trying to gain followers and to increase engagement. So one of the ways that you can do that is by rotating the hashtags and making sure you don't use always the same ones. There's one exception to that, is that if you have a hashtag that is your own personal hashtag, it's like your brand hashtag, then you should definitely always use that one and be consistent with that one. Tip number 3 is engage. Instagram is a social network. Social there being the key word. Obviously you want to engage, but you want to do it with intention, and you want to do it being genuine. You don't want to just go and like randomly pictures to see if, you know, you get more likes, or don't put comments that are just like, cool pic, nice, awesome. Be more genuine, be more personal. If you like a picture and you are writing a comment on that picture, write why you like it. Put some details, explain what caught your eye, you know, what you appreciate about the picture, because it's going to mean so much more to the person that's reading it, and that person is going to be so much more likely to check out your profile and see who you are, and if they like it, they will follow. Also, don't do that thing of following an account in the hope that they're going to follow and then unfollow. I feel like that's useless. I hate when people do it, and I feel like it completely defies the purpose of building a genuine community and following on Instagram. Brands today don't just look at the numbers when they look, you know, at partnerships or collaborations with accounts on Instagram. They're gonna look at engagement, and they're gonna look at how many comments you've gotten and what those comments were. So it is important to build a genuine following, and in my opinion, it's better to have a slower growth, but where the people that are following you are genuinely interested in what you're putting out there, than have a ton of followers and, you know, half of those followers not even really looking at your pictures. So yes, if you engage, do it with intention and actually spend the time. It is a huge time investment, and I have to say that I struggle to find the time to, you know, comment on everything that I would like to comment. But if you are really dedicated and you really want to grow your Instagram following and you really want to build a brand on Instagram, it is very important to really focus on that engagement and that social part of Instagram, and not just on putting the content and the hashtags out there. Tip number 4 is one that you've heard everywhere because everyone is saying it, and it's true. It is use a call to action. Whether, you know, you're trying to grow your email list or just grow your Instagram following or redirect, you know, traffic from Instagram to your website, let people know what you want them to do, because they might not guess. They look at hundreds of pictures on Instagram every day, you know, they might not really focus on trying to guess what you want them to do. So you have to spell it out for them. So be very clear. If you have a newsletter and you want people to sign up for it, say, hey, sign up for my newsletter. You know, explain why they should sign up for your newsletter. If you are, you know, trying to sell something and you want to take them to your Etsy store, again, take them to your Etsy store, tell them to follow the link on the bio, but have a clear call to action. Tip number 5 is use all the features on Instagram. They want you to use all the features. They're part of the algorithm, which means that if you use Instagram stories and you use Instagram Live, you're more likely to actually make it to the top content. Now, I'm gonna be very honest, I am absolutely terrible at using both those features. I just don't necessarily think about it, it's not a reflex, but I want to get better at it. I find live video to be absolutely daunting because if something goes wrong, you're live, you can't really hide it. But I am going to make a conscious effort to get better at this. So if you're serious about building a successful Instagram account, you need to use those features. So those were my top 5 tips for Instagram. Instagram is my favorite social network, and I'm actually really not good at following those 5 tips that I just gave you. This is coming from a very honest place here. But I know they work because I've seen them work for other people, and if you really are consistent, they will work for you. I actually have been meaning to get more serious about Instagram and following those tips myself, because I'm really not good at being consistent, particularly schedule-wise and visually. I love taking pictures, and I tend to be kind of all over the place visually. There's not really a consistency in the way my feed looks, because I basically just post kind of what I like. But I definitely want to work on it. So let me know if they work for you. Let me know if you have other tips that you want to share. I'm always open to learning new things. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!